Well, 1st of March. What is that? October, November, December, January, February, March. Going into my 6th month. We're going to call it 6 months self-employed. The shop has not started. So we're muddling along. We're getting things organized, opening up 1,200 more feet of space. I'm going to get a peek in there today, I hope, for y'all. That is where the plan, where metalwork, bodywork will take place. It can fit 2/3 vehicles with all of our equipment in there. We're going to pack it to the rafters like everywhere else. I've got old work that's in the red, and I got some new work that wants to come in, and I'm being very metered. Last go around, man, I just, whatever I grab my hands on, just, I don't know, they're just fucking grabbing whatever is out there. I wasn't real educated. I hadn't educated myself. I hadn't created a plan. In October, when I stepped out, I sat down and made a plan. I wrote down some goals, put some timelines on them. That becomes a plan. And so far, I've got an apprentice, part-time, 30-hour guy-ish. And I've got the new space opening up now. I want to be in there by January, February. It's March, and we're just now really able to get in there. The heater's shot. We found it yesterday, the heater's shot. The fans will run constant. And it's obsolete, and there's no parts for it. On the high side, one of the owners was here. There's 3 folks that own it. It's a family-owned property. Good people. Solid good people. They've been really good to me. They've really helped me. I've been blessed to be surrounded by some really amazing souls. And one of the owners standing there as the HVAC guy is like, yeah, it is what it is. All right. Well, I need a price on radiant heat tubes. Let's get that done. Let's just get it taken care of. We need that figured out and fixed. So that made my heart soar a little bit, because anybody that understands, doesn't matter if it's fabrication or paint or assembly, that shop space needs to be stable. 65 degrees and above all year round, 24/7. Can't just turn the furnace off when you leave. It doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. So there's that. So the next is some red tape. I've got to get a little bit of money together to tackle red tape. All of the local and state and federal, get everything done, everything taken care of. I've got a DBA, I've got an EIN, so I got a good start on that. The plan at this point is Smith Welding Restoration was an LLC years ago. I'm going to see if I can reinstate that LLC. To let me reinstate that LLC, that means I've got an aged EIN number and LLC. It'll show that it's 9 years old now. That'll help the shop acquire financial leverage. Or as investors like to call it, good debt. I just have to make sure I can maintain it as good debt, not let it get to the point of being bad debt. Again, I've got a plan. This part of it, I haven't really sat down and written out yet, so I guess their goal, their dreams. It's in the dreamscape, but I gotta sit down and write it out, and make it a plan. Put goals, put dates, turn it into a plan at this point, because I've achieved 80% of the goals I set forth 6 months ago when I went on my own. 5 months ago when I went on my own. Anyhow, so that said, we're going to get into the new space today and move at least one of the older, if not two, of the older projects that just need to get going. And keep slugging away. We pulled in used car lot junk, and it's cash flow, and it's just suffocating us. It's gonna. I watched it happen before, and I can see the telltale signs starting again. It's gonna suffocate us. It's not gonna let us do what we need to as a shop. And I attribute that to why my goals achieved are typically running 30 to 45 days behind. But it's allowed us to get this far. So I'm going to reinstate the LLC if it's plausible to show an aged LLC and EIN. And then I'm going to file a DBA. And as soon as I can get the DBA filed, I'm going to look at certain branding issues, copyrights and things like that. But we'll be busting out with shirts and cards, and we're gonna do a small merch run as soon as I can afford it, which looks like probably May or June for 4Q Customs. Big number 4, big capital Q, Customs with a K. It's a little on the nose, but it's fun. I'm not gonna be brazen and childish about it. I just throw that out there, and if it's caught, it's caught. We giggle, we move on. So 4Q Customs is in the process of building the business, and we'll build a brand, so to speak. And through that, like I said, I've got a good helper. Apprentice knows nothing. Jack knows Jack. He's been with me about a month, and he's come so far in that month. So he's actually going to have to sit down and talk to him here in the next 30 to 45 days. And right now everybody operates a 1099, and I got to get past that. I got to get around that, move to a proper employment status. That all takes time, money, and cash flow, revenue. So that's what I'm focused on right now. I took time yesterday to stand back and tend to the business itself. And I'm going to have to do that at least once, twice a week, half a day for the next, a couple months to get things in order where they need to be. So now I'm not, this go around, I'm not looking at, I'm going to build a shop. Well, shop it's easy. You get a building, you populate it with some equipment, you get some bodies in there, good, bad, or otherwise, and you just do stuff. I am going to build a business. I am building a business. I've got those aspects in sight. Actually, I just want to pop in and say, hey, but my big one was, I'm seeing a lot of, in small to middling restoration hot rod shops, a problem, a big friggin' problem. It seems a lot of these places, and not all of them, it's not an indictment sweeping across the board, because I know there's good ones out there, and they're efficient, and they keep their word, and all the things that are important. But I see a lot that just bill time and bill time and bill time and bill time. They don't focus on their crew's efficiency and effectiveness. Oh, sure, you're effective. It's done, but it took you 50 hours to do a 20-hour job. And then they just try to pass that right down through billing to the customer base. I can't see anything lasting long term that's not willing to train the people, create a team, a functioning, well-meshed team, and be efficient. Another problem I've seen is these shops, and my first attempt including, want to pay people just enough to scrape by. One place I've got acquaintance with boasts and pounds their chest. They pay their people well. They don't. They don't pay the people as well as they think they do. And they think if they clap themselves on the back loud enough and hard enough and proclaim it loud enough, that everybody's going to believe them. Well, I think it's being seen, and it's not really believed. I think people will see through that sooner than later. My goal is really easy. People come in to interview for the position, whether it's a key position, body and paint. I've got really two positions right now that I'll fill as I find the correct human to fill it. And it's body and paint. And then the mechanical, electrical assembly. Those three got to go hand in hand. Body and paint works together. That's its own skill set in the restoration hot rod side. That's its own. You don't have a body man and a painter. You don't have enough paint work to keep a painter busy. You don't have enough body work to keep a body man busy. 2,080 hours a year. Not at the scope we're in. And very few shops do. Usually they do both. So those are the two positions I'm looking at. But an apprentice position, central southern Iowa. Yeah, I decided that that position, to fill it begins as a part-time 30-hour gig, and it's a $15 an hour job. No nothing, no something. You start there, and we escalate responsibility and pay from there in accord to the individual's capacity. Paint and body, that conversation, it doesn't start any less than 25, and those are something that's survivable in this region. It's something that you can actually have a life with outside of just your work. So that's what I'm looking at now. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking at how the business is structured. I'm looking at how the pieces operate together. I'm looking at the efficiency and what we built out to the customer. Because if you look at something and go, man, that was a 10-hour job. What took 20 hours? And figure out if that person is the right fit for that position. If that person's the right fit for the shop. If there's something the shop could provide, I could provide to make that happen more efficiently. In equipment, facilities, training, whatever it be. And move forward efficiently. And I think that's going to be the key. Do the good work that everybody expects, that everybody knows I can do, that everybody knows I pass out and hand out, but work efficiently and bill accordingly. You also, on the inverse, can't take 50 hours on something and then bill 20 hours and expect to get anywhere. You'll be bankrupt, and it'll be a terrible scene. So it's making sure the hours committed and billed are appropriate. And if they're not appropriate, you don't shave hours. You don't just pass it on without a care to the customer. You figure out why. You analyze the numbers and figure out why. And at 10 years in, 11 years in, I think I can identify that at this point. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm sitting here at the shop bright and early in the morning, Tuesday, March 1st, and I've got all this rattling around in my head. And I figure I'd pop in, say hello, take up 15 minutes of your time, and shag on with life. You guys have a good one. I'll try to get back out here with some footage of the absolute mess of shop space that we've got going on as we're moving stuff around. I'll talk to you later.